is that I did BCom General because I was running away from mathematics.
Okay. Okay.
And then when I got to the degree, it was even more number-based modules such as financial accounting, such as stats, and other quantitative modules.
Okay.
So really, I was not prepared for that, but I really am truly grateful because I discovered my love for mathematics in the process.
Okay.
Yeah.
You are watching the EduKnowledge Exchange podcast show, the place where we share, learn and engage with students, graduates and experts on their academic journeys. From personal challenges to inspiring success stories, we uncover the real experiences behind university and college life. Have you ever wondered what truly goes on in the minds of students and graduates? The struggles, the breakthroughs, the game-changing tips that can transform your academic journey? We bring you raw experiences, expert advice, and unfiltered conversations to help you navigate university life like a pro. Hit that subscribe button and let's dive into the ultimate knowledge exchange.
We are in a conversation with a final year student currently pursuing Bachelor of Commerce with specialization in Finance and Economics. Can you please get to give us an insight or a background as to what does BCom Finance and Economics entails or cover?
Thank you so much for having me, first of all.
Yes.
BCom Finance and Economics, it started off as a BCom General degree. And then I got to pick my majors.
Oh, yes.
So it basically entails finance modules such as corporate finance, international finance, international trade. It also entails of economics modules such as microeconomics, macroeconomics, and what I'm going to be studying this year is also developmental economics.
Okay.
And then there are also other quantitative modules or stats modules such as statistics for finance.
Okay. That's very nice. Seems like you are more of prepared to actually participate in economic development in your study program. But beside that, for yourself, what is actually the motive behind you pursuing that career choice?
Okay, well, for context,
yes,
for my formative years, I grew up in the township, right? And then I moved to the suburb for high school. And that kind of exposed me to the disparities that existed between the low income areas and also the higher income areas.
Okay.
And that's where I got my curiosity to understand why these disparities exist and also how we can address them.
Okay.
So I've also been really interested in entrepreneurship as a child. So I guess that informed my decision to pick a BCom General degree because I wasn't nearly sure like what I actually wanted to do or specialized in. But I knew that it had to be something to do with economic development and income equality and also social entrepreneurship.
Okay. As part of your discovery from marginalized or in comparison of marginalized society to that of higher earning income area, that it got to motivate you to be in that space of studying economics and finance to understand what is actually happening in there. As now that you have commenced with that academia, how do you think it has highlighted for you?
Okay, in terms of like the curriculum, as of yet, it hasn't really been unraveled in that way. But in my extra time, I really do look into some of the systemic issues that are causing
these disparities.
These economic issues.
Okay, social factors.
Yes, exactly. And one of them is the fact that Africa is always aided, but never really developed in a systemic way.
Oh, yes.
So I'm interested in how do we develop Africa systemically through capital, like investing in small businesses that are emerging in Africa. How do we focus on employment and economic growth, and also youth development. So those are things that I'm interested in.
With the information that you are currently presenting, I may say for once that you are an asset. But as you have said that academia has not yet exposed you to that more of information as to this is how it has highlighted. What are things that you yourself have exposed to yourself in terms of gaining experience or an insight overview to say, I want to learn more about this as a student?
I guess there are many things. Because I, for one, I really interested in all the issues that are faced in Africa and also understanding how they came about. For example, sometimes it could be a result of racial exclusion. That now, this many years later, we're still facing the same issues. So I'm just really interested in understanding the root issues. And then from there, in developing solutions. There's also the Sustainable Development Goals, which are by the UN, just focusing on all the goals we need to achieve in terms of like no poverty, more employment, climate change, clean energy, and all that stuff. So I spend most of my time just trying to understand, like empathize with all the underprivileged people and just to understand where we are in order to I understand where we're going.
So, as part of you exploring that with specialization in finance and economics, wanting to understand the disparities that are there in our society, how do you think that the interconnection of finance and economics actually helps you to further develop in that knowledge?
So I actually also did not understand how social entrepreneurship and finance connect. And those were both my interests. So I spent a lot of time trying to figure out how I can merge the two. And it actually started to align. In the sense, I started to understand also private equity and what venture capital is, and saw that there is opportunity to merge social entrepreneurship and finance by funding or financing small businesses that solve social issues in South Africa.
As part of your study program, how do you navigate your studies to ensure that they actually balance one another in terms of average?
I actually do struggle with that because sometimes I do have favorite modules that I excel in. And then there's always those modules where you just not really good at it. But what I've tried to do is to approach learning with a more curious mindset. So even with the modules that I'm not inclined towards, I will try to approach it in a curious mindset and try to get myself in a position where I'm interested in learning more.
That's very nice of you. As part of you coming to university, the expectations that you had about varsity, did your institution actually meet that standard, or perhaps you had certain pressure about uplifting your expectation with university?
Well, I didn't have much expectations with regards to the university experience. But I did have some expectations, or maybe a lack of, with regards to my degree. Because I chose it because I thought, I'm not really sure of what route I want to take with my career, but it has to do with business. So
Oh,
I
yes.
chose BCom General.
Okay.
I thought it was going to be more randomized modules or more general
Oh,
modules,
yes.
and it was.
Okay.
That was the reality for the first year.
Mm.
And then as the years go, it becomes more and more technical.
Okay.
And I did not expect that
Oh, yes.
getting into
Okay.
the degree.
Okay.
But yeah, I did get to choose my majors. And
Oh.
by the time I got to choose my majors,
Hmm.
I had already figured out what I want to do.
Okay.
So that sort of aligned, and I'm grateful for that.
You know, as you mentioned that, like, how has your perspective towards the course compared to your commencement in first year to now? How has it changed?
Okay, as I just said, right? I expected it to be more generalized.
Yes.
I didn't know that we get to
Yes.
pick majors. But to my surprise, it was more technical
Okay.
than I thought. Also, another thing is that I did become general because I was running away from mathematics.
Okay. Okay.
And then when I got to the degree, it was even more number-based modules,
Oh,
such as financial
yes.
accounting,
Oh, yes.
such as stats, and other quantitative modules.
Okay.
So really, I was not prepared for that,
Okay.
but I really am truly grateful because I discovered my love for mathematics
Okay.
in the process.
Okay.
Yeah.
You are finally a student now. And you say that you are intimidated by certain module, in particular mathematics, and of which I hope that you have encountered it several times since the commencement of your academia. How did you actually find yourself adjusting or adapting, perhaps accepting that actually I have to finish this, and because it's part of your course? How did you actually get to apply commitment to that, to ensuring that you maintain the standard of performance that you might have an interest in?
Yeah. Well, in my case, it wasn't even a matter of like fostering commitment in a way,
Okay.
because then I discovered my passion for numbers,
Oh,
and that really helped. Yeah.
discovery.
Discovered, yeah.
Okay, that's very nice of you. And about how do you then get to manage your social life with academia?
I say this a lot, but
Okay.
I do not believe in a work-life balance.
Oh,
I do believe there are trade-offs. But obviously, there's also the priority
Okay.
side of things. You have to prioritize what makes sense
okay.
for you. But also that depends on many factors, such as like time, such as your situation,
Okay.
such as the context.
Oh, yes.
So it's a juggling act, basically.
Okay.
But there is no balance because there are some seasons in my life where I'm just locked in.
Oh, yes.
And there are some seasons where I just have to slow down and be more grounded.
Okay.
It's just a matter of knowing your season and what era you're on.
Okay.
But as for the balance,
It's
I'm
not
one
in that.
person. I cannot do two things simultaneously. So, yeah.
Shall I say that's a contrary or a contradiction? Because you are actively involved in different organizations, amongst others that include young investors and actors. And so how do you actually be in a position to balance this active participation in organizations and your studies?
As I said, it really is a trade-off.
Okay.
Because it really is a trade-off. I can't do
Okay.
two things
Two
at
things.
once.
Okay.
So sometimes I might miss a meeting or two
Oh, yes.
to be at another meeting,
Okay.
but it's just a matter of prioritizing
Okay.
what is the most important
Okay.
at that time.
Okay. To be precise, What is more important to others? Maybe academia, to others maybe their passion. Pairs both of them. To be precise with yourself, which one do you actually prioritize the most?
Because I am in university to study,
Yes.
then I think that is my priority for even
Okay.
this last year.
Okay.
So if you're in university, that is your priority.
Okay.
Because even in corporate, they will not take you because they do consider candidates on the basis that
Oh,
your
yes.
academics are good.
Okay.
So it's just being focused on the main
Okay.
point why you're here.
Oh, yes.
And then everything is just supplementary.
Okay, I understand. So, as you actually being involved in different organizations, which I believe that they form part of your experience that resonates with your career choice, perhaps for clarification, is it for you to gain experience? Is it for you to expose yourself to working environment while being a student? What is it to you? Like, what does it mean?
So, as I said, I think there's a corporate readiness problem
Okay.
with university students. So, I'm trying to bridge that gap for myself.
Oh, yes.
I am supplementing my curriculum
Okay.
with all these extracurricular activities so that when I go into corporate, I'm competent. And I do have the skills
Okay.
that are necessary for me to succeed. Yeah.
Okay. You just said that to actually be of advantage to you, your field of study, I believe that it's very competitive. And that's how you are preparing yourself, right? But how do you think that one, other than that, perhaps can be in a position to also be involved in that for a competitive market?
Okay. So first of all, your academics, they have to be good.
Okay.
That is your foot in. And then you have to gain some employability skills.
Oh, yes.
I was fortunate enough to be a mentee at a employability skills program
Okay.
where I learned resume writing, I learned about networking, interviewing, and all those career readiness skills that you do need. So I'd say that's one. And also networking.
Okay.
You never know.
Okay,
You never know.
yes.
I feel
You
like
never know who you're
networking is
networking, okay.
exactly.
Okay.
Networking is really important.
Okay.
And just having a community of like-minded people, it does help to push you forward.
You just left me on you never know the importance of networking to you.
Yeah.
What is the importance of networking to you? What can you highlight to us or to students who are not willing to actually expose themselves and exercise their capabilities and abilities? What can you say is the importance of networking?
Wow. First of all, before I even talk about networking, I
Okay.
think it is important to talk to everyone and
Oh,
anyone,
yes.
as long as they're safe, of course. But because I have gotten the best gems
Yes.
from people I did not expect it from,
Oh, yes.
or places I didn't expect it from. So that's just the beauty of life, you know. So I'd say do not be in isolation
Okay.
because you are human and human thrive
Yes.
with interaction with other human beings. So just put yourself out there. Also, then there's the opportunity aspect. Really being visible helps bring opportunities
Okay.
to you. And also just having a network of like-minded people,
Oh, yes.
networking with your peers, networking with lecturers and industry professionals.
Okay.
Also to just gain insight on the financial industry as a whole.
Okay. Someone might say that I actually do network with people, or rather, perhaps they misunderstand it with socializing with other people to say they do not get these opportunities. How can we respond to say, if they were to say, how do we actually project ourselves?
Okay, so it is important to be intentional about networking in the sense that you know what you want before you approach the person.
Oh, yes.
However, I approach networking quite differently because I prioritize long-term relationship building more than just I want a job or whatever. I've actually been to an industry event, and I was talking to an industry professional, and we never spoke once about job opportunities or any sort of
that is profitable.
Exactly.
Okay.
But I learned so much from him. He spoke to me about ikigai, finding your purpose, and also self-actualization and other very, very meaningful concepts.
Okay.
So networking doesn't have to be hardcore or like merely professional sometimes. Read the room. If you're comfortable to engage with the person in a not too professional way, then do it. Because sometimes I have noticed that just warming up to the person and leaving a good impression, it matters. Because one day they might be like, oh, that person was memorable and I related to that person, and then the opportunities might come by.
Okay. That's very good, precise. In your study program, would you be in a position to motivate someone or to actually be in a position to say, please take a Bachelor of Commerce specialization in finance and economics?
Traditional finance is actually quite the controversial route. I feel like just like politics, once you do finance, people question your character and your way and your ethics and whatnot.
Oh, yes.
But I want to say that you can do good with a finance degree.
Okay.
You definitely can do good by financing things that actually matter, things that actually have an impact in people's lives. I feel like finance is actually critical to everything. To healthcare, to technology, to everything. It's like center.
Yes.
So I really think if you want to make the most impact, finance is the way to go.
Is the way to go.
Because you get to finance all these impactful initiatives, and it's just like you maximizing your potential to be helpful to the world.
Okay. You say that finance as a whole has actually a positive impact in different aspects of field. But for your personal development, how do you think that the knowledge that you acquired or learned in classroom actually contributed to your personal development?
That's an actually very interesting question. I think maybe in terms of personal finance, it has helped in my own personal development in the sense that I understand basic investment principles. So yeah, in that sense, my degree did help.
Okay. So let's engage about what do you think individuals, perhaps prospective students, what qualities should prospective student possess before pursuing Bachelor of Commerce with specialization in finance and economics?
Okay, for one, you have to have a curious mindset.
Okay.
You have to question a lot of things. And also you have to ensure that you are passionate about
what you want
to choose to do.
Okay, that's very nice of you. But as part of you having begun, beside the disparities that you have actually recognized in different societies, what do you think is the most important key that motivated you to pursue it? Perhaps the love of theory that you get, beside your observation to the disparities of societies. What do you think for your key role? This is actually what motivated you to.
It just might be the disparities.
Okay.
I think when I thought about the things that really bother me in the world, one of the top things were poverty.
Oh, poverty, yes.
Yes. So that's one of the things that actually motivated me to study finance and economics.
Okay, that's very interesting. That's very interesting. I just want to know as part of you studying that, are there any organizations or experiences that you are actually entailing as part of contributing to your knowledge of economics and finance?
So I am a member of APSIP,
Yes.
which is a society that basically gives you insight on the financial industry.
Okay.
I have also been a member and an executive at EduKnowledge, which is an international organization that helps students build social enterprises that solve pressing issues in society.
Okay.
And then right now, I am in the executive chairperson of the Young Investors Program, which is a student-led finance society that bridges the gap between the theoretical knowledge you learn in university and also the skills that you need in the financial industry. So those have really helped me in the sense that, as I've mentioned, I am interested in both finance and social entrepreneurship.
Yes.
So balancing those societies has helped me be clear on how they interrelate and how they connect. Also kind of guiding me with regards to my career, what I actually want to do.
Okay. I think this is your final year. I think you will have accumulated far greater knowledge and experience in your field compared to those who have not yet exposed to them, to a related field that may add to their resume. But what are your look-ups after your graduations with the experience that you have already?
So after my degree, I'd really like to go into private equity
Okay.
or venture capital, because I'm really just interested in deploying capital to small and medium-sized businesses, and also developing them to be scalable and successful. And I really want to have an impact lens investing, where I'm investing in businesses that actually solve critical issues in Africa actually as a whole.
Okay.
So yeah, that's what I'd like to do after my degree.
Okay. May you not forget to subscribe to our channel, EduKnowledge Exchange Podcast, share with family, friends, and everyone else whom you find it meaningful and profitable to access this information. As you being in part of that you actually want to find yourself engaging in different activities individually with the knowledge that you have acquired in classroom, how do you think that you are in a space of exercising it beside in the corporate world?
I think one way that I could, and I'm interested in doing, is providing consultancy services to small businesses on how they can actually have impact on these societies, their communities.
Okay, that's very great. That's very great. And then you mentioned that you don't actually find socialization as important as that. Don't you have friends? Don't you have people that
I
went
do.
academia?
I'm very social.
Okay.
I do find time in my busy schedule to kind of prioritize family, friends. Yeah.
And what role do you think that plays in your academia?
It's extremely important, even in your personal life, and especially in university. Friends do bring color to your life, because university can be overwhelming.
Yes.
And also the support of having a close-knit group, it really does help alleviate kind of the pressure of university.
Okay. As part of that, you have accumulated knowledge, encountered different experiences of friendship, university, as part of advice to prospective students, or even those who are currently pursuing or those enrolled in higher education, what can you say to them about friendship, perhaps in terms of choosing, this is whom I want to isolate myself with? I mean, this is whom I want to socialize myself with. What advice can you give to people who are in a position of friendship? Okay.
Be selective and also be as authentic as possible,
Okay.
because then like-minded people will be able to find you.
Okay.
But be very focused.
Okay.
Yeah.
I see. Be very focused. Now, if we were to switch that focus to academia, as a final year student, I do believe that there was actually a lot of commitment and dedication towards your studies. And university has a lot of things that might play a part in distraction to academia. How can you advise a first year student in maintaining that academic discipline throughout their degree?
I think once you're very focused and structured about your life,
Okay.
and also you've identified and clearly outlined your goals, I think it helps you to not do anything that doesn't align with those goals. So my advice would be very clear on what you're here to do, be very clear about your short-term and long-term goals, and do whatever is in alignment to those goals, and you'll be okay.
Okay. Be very clear with what you are here to do. What skills do you think are essential for students who are in finance and economics before entering the job market?
Well, it definitely depends on where in finance you want to work.
Okay.
But the most critical are probably financial modeling and also company evaluation.
Okay.
Excel is also a huge tool that you need to be proficient in finance. And then there's the soft skills such as networking, presentation skills. You need problem-solving skills, critical thinking skills.
Okay.
And then there's also the employability skills that you need, such as CV writing, such as interviewing skills, and networking skills.
Okay. That's very good. Have you been exposed to that perhaps in terms of internships?
Oh, yes. So I had the opportunity to be an intern for an NGO called Ndalo Pioneers, which focuses on youth development and other social welfare initiatives. Also, quite recently, I was able to be a summer intern at Siamo Impact Partners, which is a boutique asset management firm and impact advisory.
Okay. How do you think it played a key role in advancing your skills for the competitive job market?
Okay. So I was able to intern in impact investing, which is what I actually want to do. And I've gained skills in financial analysis, deal pipelining, sector research. Those are all the skills that I will need when I go into private equity or venture capital. So it has really been an invaluable learning experience.
Okay. Does the program itself actually offers that, or you have to search for them outside? Like in a sense that students who are currently pursuing the same course, should they be in a position to actually expose themselves to different fields where they can gain the same skills which you gained, which are essential for the job market where you have to find yourself being productive?
Well, the technical aspect of things, we do learn in uni about valuations and financial modeling, which is quite helpful because that's what you'll come across in corporate. But the other, like more soft skills are not really taught in our curriculum.
Okay. That's very good. It seems like you have accumulated a lot, and I think that for myself, I already have the capacity to. But for yourself, what keeps you going? What keeps on motivating you to say, this is what I am actually in a position to do? What keeps you going?
I think my faith is the main thing that grounds me.
Okay.
Also my family. And another thing is just my passion to make an impact in the world. I think that's what motivates me and grounds me and keeps me going.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's very great. So faith is essential.
Yes, very essential.
Okay. And then how can you advise people to associate themselves with faith-based organizations to actually be in a position that it contributes to anything that they want to achieve?
Well, there are faith-based societies on campus. It's just a matter of finding them and finding a religious community that you resonate with.
Yes.
On campus is really important.
Okay.
Yeah.
As part of your personal growth, are you willing to advance your studies or?
Yes, definitely. I do want to study to PhD level because I think it's really important to be an expert in your field. And I really want to niche down on developmental finance or developmental economics.
Okay.
So, yeah.
After how long do you think that you are willing to advance your studies? After gaining experience in the job market, or you will just go for theory and therefore go to work?
With honors, I'm definitely keen on doing it after graduation.
Okay.
But for masters, I would want some experience in corporate before going into masters, especially if I'll be doing an MBA.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Why do you think it is very important for you to first gain experience so that you can come to advance your studies to master's level?
Just so you understand the corporate practical side of things, because at MBA level, it does tend to be more practical than theoretical.
Okay.
Especially in the MBA field, it's more of a matter of networking, building a network, and just advancing wherever you felt that your career was lacking.
Okay.
So, yeah.
That's very great. Thank you very much for your presence at EduKnowledge Exchange Podcast, for having came here to share the knowledge that you have accumulated throughout your academic years. And we thank you very much. We hope that the information that you have shared with us is going to be meaningful, is going to be inspirational to majority of prospective and current student. And thank you very much. We wish you all the best.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. This is EduKnowledge Exchange Podcast. Continue to share with family and friends. Subscribe to our channel, which helps us to connect with different people of different society. Help us to reach a goal of informing people who have no access to this information. Together, we are one.